Thank you.
Nice to see you. Joining us tonight, a guest who has it all. Wit, charm, humour...
Talent, money,
charisma and good looks. But you wouldn't know it from the selfies he posts. So here he is on his way to New York recently.
Nice.
And then there was Berlin.
Lovely. There's Oslo. And here he is in Copenhagen.
Now, I think that he needs to explain that last one. Please welcome Ricky Gervais.
Hello. Thank you. Well, I've been travelling around the world in the loveliest place, loveliest cities and playing arenas, and I thought, give a little bit back, a little souvenir. I like to do a bath pick, so I thought I'd do sort of like a relevant bath pick in each place, and that is Copenhagen.
Where did you get the outfit?
Little Mermaid. I had to go shopping, but I was too scared, so we went into a sort of a fancy dress shop, and I made Jane go up. I hid, in case they recognised me, right? And she said, have you got a mermaid outfit? And he went, is it for you? She went, yeah. Well, no. It's for an adult, but he's bigger than me, right? And so I got that, and then he went to her, and so in Copenhagen, and he gave it to her like that, and he went to her, someone's going to have a nice weekend. So she had to take all that. She had to take all that, and she wanted to go, it's for him, he's hiding over there. So, yeah.
And you take the phone in the bath with you, and then you take
Well, Jane had to take that one, because I had to... Sometimes I like to enhance my cleavage, so I need both hands.
I like that.
Yeah. It's all me. It's all real.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's getting ever so weird now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a bit weird.
Should we move on?
Yes. Also tonight, it's Alex's last show before she and these four heroic mothers take on the mother of all challenges.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about it?
Sick.
Are you?
We fly tomorrow to Inverness, and, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a long week.
It really is. You're very brave.
I might never come back, Michael.
I'll be fine.
It is, of course, Mother's Day on Sunday. I'll be swimming in Loch Ness, but we want to hear from mothers out there who want to tell their families what they don't want for Mother's Day this year.
And then what they do want. It's just a lot easier that way, isn't it?
Well, it is, yeah.
So it doesn't have to be a gift or anything material.
No.
What do you want?
A key ring.
Seriously?
I know. I was thinking today I really need a key ring.
Like a posh one, like a Tiffany's one, or just any...
Because I carry my keys separately, and that's not the way to do it, is it?
You can get them in a Christmas cracker, if you just want to...
Well, I mean, that'll do if you've got one.
One of those that whistle and then it tells you where they are. Sorry.
Let's begin.
It's great.
You look sort of exotic.
I look like I've got a blood pressure problem.
Were you a fan, Ricky, of Mr. Men?
I was. I was a bit too old for it. But my oldest nephew is about 8 years younger than me, so he was like 5, 6, 7. I was 12, 13, I suppose. And he loved them. He had the books. I remember I used to a little kid saying, Mr. Tickle, he had extraordinarily long arms. It was just so sweet. Just like it was. I thought it was so simplistic. Just one idea, and yeah.
But one does always identify with one, I think.
Yes.
Did you identify with anyone?
I like Mr. Bump looked good. There was Messi, wasn't there?
Mr. Messi.
Yeah. I loved Arthur Lowe as well. Narrated it. It was just yeah.
Brilliant.
I've got short arms. I've got extraordinarily short arms.
Which you actually talk about in your Humanity tour. And the last time you were here, you were about to start the tour.
That's right, yeah.
And that was last February, I think. And
it was.
You've done it.
And it was 1 year. I ended it last week in Amsterdam. Yeah, 1 whole year.
How was it?
Honestly, my favourite so far. I think it's my best, which it should be, and I think it takes like 15 years to get good at it. I think I'm good now. That's one thing. I think that it was 7 years, so you've got something to talk about. You know, your first tour is like your life, and then you've got a year to do the next one. So it was nice. And the world has changed so much in this 7 years. And also the audience know me now, so I can go further and they know what I'm doing. So it was a joy. It was an absolute joy. And it started off as me whinging about the world, and by the end of the tour, it reminded me what a brilliant place it is. You know, there's just so many beautiful places.
Did it bring out a little softer side of Ricky
I don't know
Gervais?
about that.
Judging by the performance, I'd say probably not.
No, but I am playing, obviously, a much more confident, brasher, harsher persona than me. I'm a nice, cuddly little chap. Yeah, I mean, I talk about very contentious and taboo subjects, but I think I think people are there will get it. I think people will get it because it's explained, you know? It's not just me trying to be crass and annoying and... but I do talk about taboo subjects for a reason. I think if you talk about them, they're not as scary, you know?
Well, you've let us have a little look at the trailer. Here it is.
Lovely welcome. Just for that, I'm going to try my hardest tonight. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Rick, relax. We've already had our money's worth just seeing you. What? You're a legend. Shut up. Why is he... I'm just an ordinary guy going around talking to people. Sort of like Jesus. But better. Well, I've actually turned up, so...
I've got to say, I just watched it. It is seriously funny, but
thank you.
But very shocking in
Oh, still controversial.
You got a bit.
Yeah, but then if you say something's controversial, then it sort of is by definition. I can say no, it's not, and you go yes, it is, and then it is. So do you know what I mean? I think it's because I'm talking, and it's about offence, and it's about freedom of speech, and it's about this culture where people don't look at the argument; they look at who's saying it, and it's all this. It's about prejudice, and it's about this post-truth era, and propaganda, and it's about stupidity. Really, it's about ignorance and all those things, and exposing these taboo subjects that. Or these sacred cows, and I don't think there should be any. I think you're allowed to talk about any subject, but it depends on what the joke is. So no subject is horrifying. It depends on what the joke is.
Yeah.
It depends on the target, who's the victim, and that's what the show's about. And I almost challenge people to be offended, and they're not, because they get what I'm doing. So...
Well, it's interesting the way you explain a joke. You explain what it is and why you shouldn't be offended by it.
Yeah, and I use example. I use social media. People get the wrong end of the stick, and you know how things blow out of all proportion. And so I think people are identify with it because you know everything that happened to me would have probably happened to them in some way. But I'm I'm holding the mirror up to me as well. I'm the butt of most jokes. I think in them that it's about me being a privileged idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's on Netflix, as we were saying now, the whole tour. Now, Netflix, unbelievably, has 27,000 categories. I mean, amongst our favourites are comedies about horses.
Yeah.
Right.
Revenge musicals.
Which you've been in a few.
You'd love that, wouldn't you?
Love that.
King of revenge musicals here. So what category are we going to find your humanity tour under?
Finding the funny in the worst situations on earth. I think I do talk about the most contentious and scary subjects on the planet and things that people don't talk about, but it's like I'm guiding people through a scary forest and it all turns out okay. So I'm telling people to look at the joke, not the subject really. So I think fat annoying comedians, that's another category. if there's a cross check.
You and Roy Chubby.
Yeah.
Ricky's stand-up show is out on Netflix from next Tuesday.
It's happening.
It is. It's doing it. You've heard about this mother of all challenges. Got any advice for her?
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
We're way past that point, unfortunately.
Just give the money to not do it.
The hiking boots are in the bag. It's happening. We need 2 reserves, though.
Nah.
No,
never gonna
absolutely.
happen.
I've done my bit.
Yeah, I haven't.
You two would just get an Uber, wouldn't you? What have you
exactly,
done?
Yeah.
I did baking.
Oh, baking.
Did you baking?
I did baking for Sport Relief.
You really
I think
put yourself out, didn't you?
I absolutely went for
a little pinion and everything, didn't you?
Yeah.
Grease your own dish.
I did.
Did you?
Not for the first time, may I tell you.
There we go. There's the first one.
That's the first one. You wanted
Good.
it. Now, because you're...
Now then, Ricky, we talked about humanity. So you're thinking, we presume, about the next tour.
Yeah.
What sort of, what sort of areas are you looking at for that one?
Well, the title I thought of at first was, I think, maybe Supernature, because I can talk about how I don't believe in anything supernatural, and I can tell people how super nature is. You know what I mean?
2 birds, 1 stone.
Exactly. So that would be, I think, just how beautiful the world is.
You're kind of obsessed with it on your Twitter and stuff, aren't you?
Yeah, I've always been like, I suppose at heart a scientist, and I'm fascinated with the world and fascinated with people and animals and everything. Yeah, I think it's one of the most exciting things in life is to learn as much as you can, and to eat as much cheese and wine.
I certainly agree with one of your things. You've also got you were saying another project you're working on with Netflix.
Yeah, I'm just going into pre-production now. Something I've written, and I'm gonna. It's a 6-part sort of story. It's sort of a comedy, but a dark comedy. It's not a sitcom, but it's a 6-part story. Yeah, I start work on that, filming that in the summer. And then I can't wait to do another tour. I'm just hooked now.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, and you like people again. I mean, it's amazing.
I like people again. I do, if they're paying.
There's always a caveat, isn't there?
There's always a caveat.
Yeah.
And is it easy to write for yourself? As well as, characters?
Yeah, I think the first few tours I sort of wrote like a stand-up show and I went out and practiced them, and this one I just walked out with nothing. And you arrive at the sort of same place.
Nothing at all?
Yeah, just an idea. Wow. And I go out and I sort of, I just sort of whinge and talk to them, and that's the great thing about stand-up. The audience choose your best stuff. It's instant. It's like you put a sitcom out, you do your best thing, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't change it. Whereas this, you do every night, and it evolves. And soon, once it's perfect, it never goes away.
It's why live is best.
It is.
Live
It's
fabulous.
great.